Welcome to Leigh Dickey TV. Hit subscribe to follow along with the fun. Now let's get on to today's video. It's time to do the dance of joy again. A Perfect Strangers reboot is in development at HBO Max with Linn, Hughes, and Thede set to star. I tell you all about it next. Alright, so this Perfect Strangers reboot that is in the works at HBO Max is in development. I didn't even realize that this property, which is a Warner Brothers property, was on the docket and was even being considered to be rebooted or revived. I didn't think that they would want to revive it, but, sort of, I don't want to say revisions, but like revival series and reboots are all the rage these days. We've seen it with Saved by the Bell, Full House, Punky Brewster, and just a ton of others, whether it's movies, TV, they're all the rage these days. I just didn't think that Perfect Strangers would be one of those, but here we are. Now apparently Thede and Linn Hughes are set to star in this reboot. If either lady's name sounds familiar, unfortunately I have not seen any of their work, either of them. Thede created, writes, executive produces, and stars in a Black Lady sketch show, which was just renewed for season 3 at HBO Max. Linn Hughes wrote and starred in Laughter Shock with the BBC, and she has her own Netflix comedy special, To Catch a Blank. I can't say that last word because the internet will yell at me. She's also done work on A History of Swear Words, so check her out. I know that I will look both these performers up after I've done recording this, editing it, and putting it together for you all, just to familiarize myself with their work. Now, according to this article from The Hollywood Reporter, Thede and Hughes will star as Deja and Poppy, who are unknown to each other, and then find out that they are half-sisters and inherit this apartment that they have to live in, and now they have to work together and pretty much coexist. This honestly sounds a bit like My Two Dads meets Sister Sister. It sort of sounds like a melting pot of two sitcoms. Like My Two Dads starred Stacey Keenan and Paul Reiser. Sister Sister, you had Tia and Tamara Mowry. And that's what this sounds like. Again, if you know that I'm not crazy on reboots, but I love my TV, and I will at least watch the pilot as soon as I know when it'll air here in Canada, because I don't think we get HBO Max up here. Maybe it'll air on Crave. I'm not sure. I'm not crazy about reboots or revivals, but, I'm at least willing to watch the pilot. When I first read that synopsis, and it's in the article here from The Hollywood Reporter, it sounded a bit like Sister Sister meets My Two Dads. And I don't know, again, not crazy about reboots, but I will at least give it a shot. Of course, the original run of Perfect Strangers starred Bronson, Pinchot, and Lynn Baker, and ran from 1986 to 1993. 8 seasons, 150 episodes. And to be fair, I know I just said I'm not crazy about reboots, but they're all the rage. I can't stop a studio or a company or a station going, hey, we're going to remake the show. It was popular 30 years ago, and reboots are all the rage. I can't stop anybody from doing that. But you can come up with a new idea. The viewing public, they're not going to hate you for coming up with a new idea. It's okay. We're not allergic to new ideas. We like those, okay? So you can come up with new ideas. I should say, the original show with Lynn Baker and Bronson Pinchot as Larry and Balky, right? Now, Balky came from the fictional small island of Mypos, and his distant cousin Larry. The show takes place in Chicago, and they work at a newspaper, I think it is, if my memory serves me right. Now, with this one, if I haven't mentioned it, it's, Linn Hughes and Thede finding out that they are half-sisters. They inherit an apartment, and they have to coexist, live and work together, right, just to make one big, happy, cohesive unit. And it takes place in New York City. I got nothing against New York, but I figure, why wouldn't you have it set in Chicago again. Like, just, I don't know, like, nothing against New York. Maybe this is just the updated way of Hollywood doing things, or at least their way of trying to sort of modernize it. But, like, Chicago's nice. I mean, I've been there a few times. New York, I have nothing against New York, been there too, but, like, you can just, you could have kept it in Chicago. That's what I'm saying. Like, the original took place in Chicago at a newspaper, right? Like, that's where they worked. Balky and Larry, Pinchot and Lynn Baker. You know, with sort of Hughes and Thede's characters living in an apartment above a trap yoga studio in New York. I don't know. I mean, if that doesn't say this is 2021, I don't know what else will. I get modernizing and sort of wanting to update, but why? Just why? You know, there's part of me that, like, is watching and sort of, like, feeling my youth, like, just slip away further and further the more I report on sort of, like, these reboots and revival series. I'm like, it's slipping away. I can feel it. It's like holding on by a fingertip, and, like, internally I cry a little. Just, I'm like, why? I don't understand. Like, we're going from Chicago to New York with this one. Okay, no problem. I mean, that's sort of an HBO decision, or like a Miller Boyett decision, or whoever is in charge, like the executive production team. That's their decision. Fine. It might even be an HBO Max decision. I'm not sure. I can't be certain of that. But all right, there we are. We're going from Chicago, being said at a newspaper, to a trap yoga studio in Brooklyn, New York, for this updated revival reboot series. And I wonder if Pinchot or Lynn Baker, or even, you know, any of the Family Matters cast, because the original spun off into Family Matters, will come in and make guest appearances, or even cameos. I don't know, but if they're gonna, like, since they're going to do this reboot, I'd like to see that. I'd like to see Lynn Baker, Bronson, Pinchot, maybe some of the Family Matters cast come in, make cameo or guest appearances. That would be cool. Just have Urkel slide in, no problem, right? You know, have Jaleel White make an appearance. That would be, I don't know, for me, like, if you're going to have it come full circle, if you're going to reboot something to update it for a new audience, at least have, like, the cast from the original show or original film, like, make, at the very least, give them a walk-on role, you know, or have them, like, a small bit part. That would be cool. I mean, I think that's the thing that would make me sort of accept this, like, just accept another reboot more, or another revival, whatever this is, reboot or revival. It just, that would make me feel better about, you know, sort of reporting on this rebooted Perfect Strangers series. I love the original show. I will at least watch this pilot. But, I mean, if you got the original cast to come in somehow, even if it's just for a walk-on or a bit part, like, my heart would go yay. Alright, but there it is. It's another, we're moving from Brooklyn, or moving to Brooklyn from Chicago for this revived series of Perfect Strangers. When I read the article, I was kind of just like, really, another reboot? And like I said, Hollywood, you can come up with new ideas, okay? We're not going to hate you for a new idea. We like new ideas. We like new, fresh, you know, we don't need you to hit the hard reset on a property we already know. You do that enough, okay? I read the article and I was just like, okay, another reboot. I mean, what else is new? There's nothing new happening, and I will at least watch the pilot. Like I said, I haven't seen any of Robin Thede or London Hughes' work. I loved the original, although I didn't see most of its original run because I wasn't born until about season 3 or 4, and was really young when the show went off the air. But after 8 seasons and 150 episodes, I didn't think that this show, Perfect Strangers, would be, you know, on the docket and up for a revival or a reboot. You know, and I've said I'm not a fan of reboots or revivals or like sort of rehashings of, you know, an older property just to introduce it to a new audience and update it for an audience that's 30 years older, right? Or like a new generation, if you will. Just because why keep doing that? Yes, like you might think that reboots are all the rage these days for people my age, but it's not that we're yearning for the shows of our youth. We're yearning for our youth and the simpler times that they gave us, that they brought us, that there were. It's just we're yearning for, you know, not having any worries that you would as an adult, right? But, you know, I realize that I can't get those back. I'm an adult, and I'm gonna have worries. I'm gonna have stresses. And it just, I don't, like, why another reboot? We don't need another one. You had Bronson, Pinchot, Linn Baker, 8 seasons, 150 episodes. It anchored ABC's TGIF. It spun off into Family Matters. And that's the other thing. Yes, this is coming from Warner Brothers, but it was originally produced by Miller Boyett. And if that name sounds familiar, they were everywhere from the 70s through the 90s, step by step. Perfect Strangers, Full House. I know they did a reboot, Fuller House. Not a big fan of that. I wasn't even a big fan of the original Full House, but still, that got rebooted. Full House, Family Matters, Perfect Strangers, step by step. The list goes on and on. Happy Days, Mork and Mindy. I could go on forever. But, you know, like I said right at the beginning, I will at least watch the pilot as soon as I can get, you know, a copy of it or get a chance to see it, because I'm not going to completely, you know, just blah all over it. I don't want to do that, because even to put on a show, reboot or not, it's a lot of work, and I've worked in TV, I've worked in radio, I've worked in media. It's a lot of work to put together a show. To produce even one episode of one show, it's a lot of work, and it takes a lot of people. So I'm not going to blah all over it. Why another reboot? Why do we need another one? I don't get it. You know, Perfect Strangers, it's, okay, fine. It was a great show, but I don't think you need to keep rehashing and sort of revisiting these old properties. Like I've said a few times, it's okay to come up with a new idea. We like new ideas, the viewing public. We like new, okay? We like fresh. You don't have to just keep hitting hard resets. You know what I mean? We don't need reboots every time we turn around. Oh, look, they're remaking this movie. Oh, look, they're remaking this TV show. Like I said, I will watch the pilot just because I am a fan of the original show that starred Bronson Pinchot and Linn Baker. But I'm not crazy about reboots and revivals. It just, give us something new. That's basically all I'm saying in this last little bit here. Like, I have nothing against Robin Thede or London Hughes, right? They're set to star in this reboot, and Thede's going to write the pilot and executive produce. But what I am saying is the viewing public could use something new, right? Now, Hollywood's brought us new features, new TV shows, new movies, right? But in actuality, it's like that old Peter Allen song, everything old is new again, and everything gets recycled, rehashed, reimagined, reimaged. It's just this, and to have a sequel to, say, a movie that was very popular 20, 30, 40, 50 years ago, just because. So, I'm sorry for ranting and raving to close out this video. As much as I love Perfect Strangers, and as many times as I've said, I'm going to watch this pilot. We can stop with the reboots now. Okay? Like, best of luck to Robin Thede, London Hughes, Miller Boyett, HBO Max, and Warner Brothers for wanting to, you know, update Perfect Strangers for a new audience and a new generation. You know, and congratulations on, I guess, hitting the green light on a reboot and a revival or a rehashing. But I'm just saying, we don't need to keep seeing the same old things. Like, somebody my age doesn't need to keep seeing the same old things that were popular 20, 30, 35, 40 years ago. You know, like, I know that there was a Hawaii Five-0 reboot, you know, a MacGyver reboot, Magnum PI. Like, reboots are all the rage. But you can stop doing that and give us a brand new idea, you know? Like, I don't know if I'm just speaking for myself or everybody else, or, well, not everybody else, but, you know, a few other people, but you can stop and just give us new ideas whenever you want. Like, that's okay. It doesn't have to be, you know, Mission Impossible 7000. Okay? We don't need Rocky 75. As much as I love the original Rocky, and as much as I enjoyed the first 2 or 3 Mission Impossible films, I don't need to keep seeing those. We can stop with the sequels to everything, and the sequels 20 years later, and the reimaginings to once popular sitcoms or dramas. And you can just give us new, like, something fresh, something new. That would be fun, please and thank you. Roses are red, and I'm using my mental pencil. This may go out Monday, Wednesday, or Friday, who knows. Either way, whatever day it is, please be gentle. That's all I'm saying. I've been Leigh Dickey. This is going to wrap up another video. I'm going to end it here. Thanks for watching. Please comment, like, share, subscribe. Sorry to rant on to close out this video, but hope I got my point across. Hollywood, you can give us new things. We like new, we like fresh. Now, reboots, revivals, not bad, but you can stop with that. Sequels, stop with that, okay? So thanks again for watching. Again, I've been Leigh Dickey. Comment, like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff, and we will see you in the next one. All right, talk to you later. Take care. Peace. Thanks for tuning in to Leigh Dickey TV. New episodes are available every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Subscribe to follow along with the fun.